Welcome back, you guys, to the player ratings video after our 2-0 win against Fulham today. We can thank Kai Havertz for coming through big today, scoring the 2 decisive goals to seal this win for us. However, this player ratings video gives me the opportunity to speak more in depth with the individual players today, because today, you guys, we saw some very good individual performances, and this also gives me the opportunity to praise our manager and Thomas Tuchel for his very bold lineup selection and bold tactics used today that helps us to get that win, you guys. So I hope you enjoy. Smash the like button, help me get over 2,000 likes for today's video, and without wasting any more time, let's kick things off by starting with Thomas. Now today we saw a different variation on our normal back three system. This time, instead of using 2 in the pivot, we had 1 consisting solely of Billy Gilmore, and either side of him was Mason Mount and Hakim Ziyech, playing in like those auxiliary number 8 roles. Now, we kind of saw something similar under Frank Lampard during the first part of the season. However, today I felt like this was definitely the best decision made by Tuchel. I think it was the perfect tactics against Fulham. It's like Tuchel knew that Fulham were going to come out and attack us. He knew they had to get 3 points today. They were going to be more bold and more brave. And by setting us up how he did, essentially allowed us to suck Fulham into those like central areas in our own half. And then once we won the ball back, because we have the back three that were moving very narrow and very tight to help out with Billy Gilmore, this allowed us to create many opportunities with vertical passes, which led to goals. We created many counter-attacking opportunities as well. So for today, I'm going to score Thomas Tuchel an 8.5 out of 10. Now we start with our first outfield player in Edouard Mendy. Now today, Mendy was tested. This was a very resilient Fulham team that had nothing to lose and tried to prove that today. And it felt like Mendy was literally in action like we've never seen him in how many games. Fulham really tested him. And it's great to see that Mendy stood up, made very important saves in good times. And for me, he's proven to be one of the best goalkeepers in the league. I don't think we have to sign a goalkeeper anymore. As I said in my review, I'm happy to keep both Kepa and Mendy because I think they're quite good together and they clearly just spur each other on as well. But this game proved to me why Mendy is definitely a goalkeeper that you need to mount title challenges, to try and win trophies. He proved that today, you guys. And for my score, I'm going to be giving him an 8 out of 10. We now move on to Andreas Christensen, who has really just grown levels this season. We saw him playing on the right hand side of a back three, and I feel like this is the type of position I'm hoping that Christensen can make for himself as the future goes on, because it really suits how he plays. Christensen's never been that type of defender that will play defense splitting passes or play accurate passes over the top. Yes, he can move the ball very nicely, but he's always been a player that will carry the ball into midfield, step up with it. And I think playing on that right-hand side of a back three allows him to do that. He can use his great recovery pace because Christensen is low-key fast, doesn't get enough credit for that. And of course, his link-up play with the team and in the midfield as well. I thought that him alongside Rhys James did very well in stopping Robinson and Lookman, who looked quite dangerous at times. And, Christensen at 25 is thoroughly deserving of a new contract for sure. And for his score today, I'm going to give him a 7 out of 10. We now move on to Thiago Silva, and honestly, for me, one of the best signings in Europe. I really feel like he has elevated how we play as a team, because ever since we sold David Luiz, we never replaced that playmaking out from the back that big teams needs. Silva is come, he's signed for us, and how he just controls that back three. You're seeing him, he's telling players where to play the ball, pass to him to relieve pressure, etc, telling Gilmore where to go as well, constantly controlling and dictating. His understanding of the game is on a different level, you guys, and some of the passes he plays as well. I think that he played one excellent pass in the first half that started a counter-attack, which found itself to Timo Werner, and it's just how his passes are so positive and they create attack opportunities for us, which for me is something that, I'm very grateful for. So for that reason, I'm going to score Thiago Silva a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to Kazuma. Now Kazuma was most definitely involved defensively. I think maybe on 1 or 2 occasions, because you guys know I'm an absolute purist, there was maybe 1 or 2 times he could have maybe closed down his man a bit tighter, a bit faster to stop the cross coming in. But regardless of that, you guys, I mean, this guy was an interception king today, making countless, defensive headers from set pieces, from open play. I mean, Fulham really tested us by, putting in so many crosses inside the box, which Kazuma easily dealt with because that is his bread and his butter. At times as well, he was comfortable pushing forward to help Gilmore at times. It felt like players were taking it in turns to move in field to help support him. And I thought he did quite well in linking up the midfield and the defence as well. Zuma for me is a very good player. I think we have 4 excellent top class centre backs, and I don't think we got to sign a new centre back, you guys. Today I'm going to score Kazuma a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to wing backs, starting with Rhys James, and wow, one of the best fullbacks in the country. I think it's very safe to say today another excellent demonstration and example of what Rhys James does and provides for the team. Defensively, he doesn't get enough credit, but today he had both Lukeman and Robinson coming at him, and he was coming out on top. We saw examples of Rhys James's ridiculous upper body strength. He's one of the strongest players in the club already. I've heard this multiple times before, and we see it in game time and time again, the way he just effortlessly just brushed and greased it to the side as well. But on top of that, Rhys James was involved offensively, playing great passes to start counter-attacks, carrying the ball at times, driving in field too with the ball to help set things up too. But, defensively, he was outstanding, very good, and yeah, he's just one of those opponents that you don't want to play against. So today, I'm going to score Rhys James a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to Ben Chilwell. Again, another excellent performance. He played the pass that started the second goal, starting that move, and throughout the game he was demonstrating that he had that pass in him, looking to play balls in behind for Werner, which is easy for Ben because back at Leicester he used to play alongside Jamie Vardy. So I'm hoping that maybe Werner and Chilwell can maybe build more of an understanding, because we've seen just how important that can be when Ben can find that with the striker. But regardless though, I feel like he's quite low-key in regards to how he plays. I guess like with modern day football, if we're not seeing like fullbacks or wingbacks, literally carrying the ball out wingers and getting past 1 or 2 man or showing explosive pace, then performances don't really get enough hype or enough credit. But Ben today, his engine is out of this world. I mean, he's constantly in both boxes, up and down, up and down. He's really just grown so accustomed to the wing back position. So today I'm going to score Ben a 7.5 out of 10. Now we move on to Billy Gilmore. Now today he had a bit of a difficult game in the sense that, not that his performance was bad, but tactically, he played one of his only games as part of a lone pivot. Now, of course, against a Fulham team that was looking to press us in those central areas, that was pressing really high too, and of course are physically stronger than him, this was a great test for Gilmore. But for me, I think with young players, we have to look at how they learn as they're playing, how they improvise, the solutions they find. And I felt like Gilmore found tons of great solutions in game. How many times was he getting closed down from all angles, from the left, from the right, from the middle, and then he's still finding solutions to maintain possession of the ball, switch the play, and keep our momentum going. They're the things I want to see. I was seeing nice 1-touch, 2-touch play at times. He played 1 key pass in the game, which is something that he constantly does every game he plays. And for me, because we're used to seeing our midfield differently, because we have like a pivot that don't ever leave their positions, I think it could be easy to fall into that trap of thinking that, okay, Gilmore was quite bad compared to them and he wasn't good today. But for me, I thought Gilmore he really showed a lot. He impressed me, and for that reason I'm going to score him a 7 out of 10. Now we move further forwards, starting with Mason Mount. Now, without a doubt, our player of the season. That assist that he made for Kai Havertz, the beauty, the finesse, the skill, the techers. It was techie, and I've been hearing for nearly an entire year that Mason Mount didn't have that in his game. This season, we're seeing that for Mason. He looks so confident. He looks so assured. I love how he's taking more responsibility in game. He's looking to drive when he has to. He's looking to take shots when he has to. He's looking to make things happen when he has to, instead of passing that responsibility on like he was doing maybe a bit too much last season. But you know, just the beauty of that goal that he created. I mean, that was world class. That first touch and the composure to just, you know, play a perfectly weighted ball in behind onto Kai's stronger foot. Like that. One touch, two touch. I mean, plays the game at incredible speeds with such great control and awareness. And for that reason, I'm going to be scoring Mason an 8 out of 10. And now we move on to Hakim Ziyech. Now, I feel like in the role he plays today, which is just more in that right side channel, that is his best area to play in, to operate in. You know, we were seeing him playing some nice through balls in behind, which you don't tend to see as much at times. I like when he's on the ball making things happen, as opposed to having to get on the end of balls instead. And he demonstrated his expansive passing, nice little bits of skill as well, and you know, just his awareness, his positioning. I do think though, and he is going to lose the score for this, that he should have scored to make it 2-0 in the first half. I thought that Werner set him up perfectly. He was on a stronger foot, and that should have been something headed for the top corner, in my opinion. But regardless, this was a very good performance. Let's hope that, you know, we could see Tuchel use a variation of this back three system a bit more, because I feel like it allows us to play a lot more vertically, which is what you have to do if you want to play with speed to break down opposition teams. So for that reason, I'm going to score Ziyech a 7 out of 10. And now up front, we move on to King Kai Havertz today. 2 goals. Very good performance, incredible composed finishing that we saw from him too. And yeah, I feel like in games like this, when there's space for him to play in, this is where you really see what he's about. And this is why he's more of a forward compared to like a traditional number 10 style player, because he knows where to operate and where to be in when the spaces open up. I thought there may be like 1 or 2 times in game where maybe he should have played a better final ball. I think there was one time he should have played Timo Werner in a lot earlier, but regardless, he caused Fulham lots of issues. They couldn't really handle him as much. I liked him in the role today because, you know, he's not playing as like a classic number 10. He was drifting and roaming all across the final third, sometimes playing on the right hand side, the left hand side, dropping deeper. And I think when you give Kai Havertz like a free role, playing as a centre forward, that's when you see him at his very best. So today, I'm going to score Kai Havertz an 8.5 out of 10. And to complete things with the first team, you guys, we move on to Timo Werner, who again today showed and demonstrated his playmaking ability for the team. Now, we saw him set up Hakim Ziyech, who should have scored from his opportunity, and then he played a great ball in behind to find Kai Havertz. Now, you know, it was weird. I'll have to watch this game again to get like my second taken impression, but I felt like at times maybe Timo's runs weren't as assertive enough, and it kind of caused confusion to maybe guys like Ziyech or Mount, who were on the ball, wanted to play these balls early, but didn't get that cue to when to release it. That's how I see it on one side, but on the other side, I also think maybe Timo is trying to be low-key, trying to don't want to bait out to the Fulham defense. You know, I'm about to make a run now, get ready, be prepared, and maybe it's up to his teammates to have to, you know, get that instinct to understand what he's going to do and be one step ahead. Because I don't know, it feels like even though Werner's pace is very useful for us at this point in time, I feel like we're still not getting the very best out of it. We could do a lot better in those areas, and I think if we did, we see maybe Werner getting more opportunities on goal, more shots on goal, etc, etc. But today he did a role for the team, and for that reason, I'm going to score him a 7.5 out of 10. And to end things with the subs for the game today, Alonso, Kante and Tammy will all score a standard 6 out of 10. That's like my standard professional score. You know, Tammy got some rare game time. However, the context of the game was completely different. We started defending in our own half wall. Didn't really create many counter-attacking opportunities, and he barely got on the ball or could do anything. With Kante, I thought he came on and definitely gave us more assurance in the middle. However, it wasn't like he was busting a gut, because of course he's reserving himself for the massive game on Wednesday. And with Marcos Alonso, this was just an opportunity to give Gilmore some rest before the game on Wednesday. So that is basically it, you guys. And on that note, I'm EFC, this is Blue Lions TV. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.